Hey, it is Kenny's from Kenny's Audiophile Record Reviews. Thank you very much for viewing my channel. Please like and subscribe. I sincerely appreciate that. I don't know if anybody's viewing, but this is my first live video. Trying to get it together. Wait, see if I get any viewers watching. At least you got one thumbs up. See if we get some more viewers watching before I get started. Yeah, I'm gonna do a video on my favorite soul and R&B singers. I'm just gonna show some record albums, and you know, just go through a few of them to see what we have. Yeah, I don't know if I'll have the ability to answer questions. Like I said, this is my first crack at doing a live video. Thanks for those who are viewing so far. Like I said, this is my first crack at a live video. And so if there are any questions, I'll answer them, I guess, after the video, since I don't think I have, at least at this moment, don't have the ability to answer any questions. But I'll answer all questions at the end of the video. I just want to wait just a few more seconds to see if any more viewers come to this video, and then I'll get started. But like I said, this is my first crack at doing a live video, so it should be pretty interesting. I'll just give it another minute or so, and I'll get started. Thanks for your patience for those of you who are watching. Like I said, this should be an interesting adventure. I thought I'd just out of do something different. I thought I would do a live video just to see how it goes. So yeah, I get started in maybe another minute or two. Looks like Bruno is watching. Yeah, I can barely see the comments on the screen, but like I said, as I get them, I will get started. But like I said, if I get any questions, I'll answer them after the video. I don't think I have the ability at the moment to answer them live, but as I'm still learning how to navigate a live video, but it's cool to be able to do this. So I think at the moment there's 7 watching. We'll see what if we can get any more watching, and then I'll get started. No, thank you, Bruno, for viewing as always. I really appreciate it. So. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Excuse me. Hope everybody's doing well out there in the audiophile record community. It's a Saturday out here in California where I'm at, and it's a beautiful day. Actually, kind of a little warm, but my wife's out doing shopping, so I thought I would. And we plan to go to Disneyland tomorrow. Tomorrow Sunday, we plan to go to Disneyland together. So I thought I'd get a live video in. But the purpose of this video is to show you some of my favorite R&B and soul singers. And I'm going to show you some album covers as I go along. And maybe there's be some brief commentary in between. I'll try and keep it short because I have like 60 albums to go through. I could have brought out more albums, but I just wanted to, didn't want the video to get too long, so I kind of shrinked it down to around 60. I mean, I could have brought out maybe another 100 more, But like I said, these are some of my favorite soul R&B singers. And I'm going to show you some of the album covers. I'm kind of get through this big video the best I can. Like I said, this is my first crack at doing a live video. So I'm going to get started right now. I think there's 9 watching. So for the 9, I'm going to get started right now. Maybe hopefully some others will jump on or see this video as it's posted on YouTube later on. But I'm going to start off with Curtis Mayfield, one of my favorite soul and R&B singers. This is Superfly album, one of the greatest R&B soul voices of all time. Curtis Mayfield had a great solo career. He was in a group, I believe, called the Impressions, but he also went on to have a great solo career as well. Another great R&B soul group, old school, is called the Dells. And they had a lot of great hits. You know, "Stay in My Corner" is one of them. Hello, all you out there watching. Thank you for your messages. And like I said, if I get any messages, I will hopefully answer them after the video, the ones I can. But yeah, the Dells, you know, had some great hits. You know, "Stay in My Corner," and a lot of other great hits. I think they had another great hit. I think it was the Dells. I couldn't be sure. It's called "I Can Sing a Rainbow and Love Is Blue." But the Dells, another great R&B soul group. I'm holding this album up to honor Tina Turner, not Ike and Tina Turner, because I don't care for Ike Turner. But this is to honor Tina Turner, who passed away not too long ago. I saw her live in concert in the 80s, and she put on, when she was, you know, during her comeback years, and she put on an amazing concert. The great Tina Turner has to be recognized as one of the greatest R&B soul singers of all time. Thank you for those who just jumped on the video. I really appreciate it. Like I said, the purpose of this video is to show some of my favorite R&B soul singers, and I'll show you some of the album covers the best I can. This guy has a lot of soul. That's Brother Barry White. It is a great album because it includes a song, "I've Got So Much to Give," which is probably my favorite Barry White song of all time. And also, "I Found Someone" is pretty good as well. But "I Got So Much to Give," a great song in this album. Barry White, one of the greatest R&B soul singers of all time, for sure. Now this band right here, oh yeah, love Barry White too. He's pretty cool. That is a great album. But this album right here, though, Earth, Wind and Fire, this is one of the greatest albums ever made. This particular pressing by Impex Records is amazing. I love this record. Maurice White, who was a drummer, I think he played with, gosh, I forgot the name, the band he played with, but he was a drummer, Maurice White, and a great one at that. But Earth, Wind and Fire, one of the greatest bands of all time. Don't get the hype that they deserve in this modern times. A great band. Here's another one. Patty Austin. She had a great voice, a fabulous 80s voice, so I had to include her on my list of R&B soul singers. Patty Austin. Now here's another band that doesn't get the hype they deserve. They had one massive hit called "Here Comes the Express," and the name of the band is BT Express. If you want to hear a great song with a great groove, "Here Comes the Express" by BT Express is an amazing song. "Here Comes the Express" by BT Express. You have to check that song out. BT Express, the name of the song is "Here Comes the Express." Nat King Cole's daughter, Natalie Cole, must be on my list of favorites. She must be. She had this song called, I think it's called "La Costa," which is pretty cool. This group had some wild covers. They were pretty cool. the Ohio Players. The Ohio Players. I remember when them when I was younger. I got into soul R&B. I had an older brother we shared a room with when we were growing up, and he had a lot of these albums, some of the old school albums. So I had to mention my brother Michael. He did a great job of setting the foundation or platform for my musical listening. My older brother Ricky and Michael, my father. But Michael, who I shared a room with, especially with these old school records, he set the platform for me to expand my musical knowledge and collection to the way it is today, as you see. Jeffrey Osborne. Now, when I saw Jeffrey Osborne in person, he was doing a concert with Whitney Houston, and Jeffrey Osborne was the opening act for Whitney Houston during that concert. It was, it could have been around 86 or something like that. But he has a fabulous voice. And another underrated group, Kool and the Gang. I love this album. This album came out when I was in high school. There's a song on here, what is it? Open Sesame. This is a great album. Kool and the Gang. Patrice Rushen, another 80s singer that doesn't get a lot of these great 80s and 70s R&B singers just fall through the cracks these days and don't get the props they deserve. Patrice Rushen, so I have to mention her. And that's same thing for Angela Bofield. She fits in the same category as Patrice Rushen. Another fabulous voice, doesn't get the props he deserves. Here's an old school band. One of my favorites, Gladys Knight and the Pips. This one includes a hit Neither One of Us. Gladys Knight and the Pips. Fabulous group. This singer passed away too soon. She had one of the greatest and purest voices of all time. If she wouldn't have passed away too soon, she probably would have went down with the greatest singers of all time. That's the great Minnie Riperton. What a fabulous voice. And she had that great song called Loving You, I think is the name of the song. Minnie Riperton is one of my favorite voices of all time. Minnie Riperton. Here's another. Oh, by the way, Minnie Riperton was a member of a band early in her career called the Rotary Connection. She was in this band before she went solo. And the name of the band is Rotary Connection, if you want to check them out. I think this is one of their original pressings, and this is a reissue of that same record. And sorry if I can't see or answer your questions, but like I said, this is my first crack at a live video. And I don't think I can necessarily see them, so I'm kind of to get through this the best I can. But like I said, if there are any questions, I'll check them out after the video the best I can. Let me see. This is the first album I ever bought in my life, Al Green. The first album that I ever bought because I didn't have to buy records when I was younger because my older brother Michael was buying records. So I just, listened to his records, listened to music that he was buying. But this is actually the very first album that I ever bought with my own money. Let's Stay Together, Al Green. This singer, in my opinion, made the greatest album of all time. This is not the album that I think is the greatest album of all time. I'm going to show you that in a second. But Al Green, this is I Want You album, which is I Want You is a great song. Listen to I Want You by Marvin Gaye, I should say. Marvin Gaye. He made the greatest album ever made. This is not it. I'm going to show you that in a second. But I Want You is also a great song. But the greatest album I think ever made, in my opinion, is number one on my list, is Marvin Gaye's What's Going On album. This is a CD. That's the greatest album ever made, in my opinion. Another great group. Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. My brother used to play that song, Going to a Go-Go, in the 60s. I'll never forget that. It was one of my favorite songs of that time. Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. There's a Smokey Robinson album. One of my favorite songs is called Quiet Storm. If you want to hear like a fabulous song, a fabulous groove, listen to Smokey Robinson, Quiet Storm, A Quiet Storm. Look at it, listen to that song. It's amazing groove to get into. Another singer that unfortunately left us too soon was Whitney Houston. I think she could have went down as one of the all-time greats, if not the all-time great, if she would have lived a clean life and had longevity. Whitney Houston, I have to give her a mention in my R&B soul singers list. Also, there's some funk artists in here as well. Just a few. I'm gonna get to some funk artists in this video. Small handful. Percy Sledge with his beautiful voice and that fabulous song, When a Man Loves a Woman. Percy Sledge, ladies and gentlemen, from the 60s. This group was a hybrid group that reached a large audience racially and stylistically. Sly and the Family Stone, what an amazing band they were. An old school R&B band. The Drifters. My favorite song of theirs, I think it's called I Count the Tears. It's a beautiful song. The Drifters. This dude has a lot of funk in him. Great guitar player. Johnny Guitar Watson is one of my favorites. I used to listen to this when I was in high school. Johnny Guitar Watson, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going old school on you now with this one. One of the greatest voices of all time, Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to present a disco queen, Donna Summer. Another one of my favorites in high school. I wasn't a big fan of the disco era per se, but I did love Donna Summer. So I had to give her a mention. This is the second best album ever made, in my opinion. And this would have been the best album ever made if it was a single album. If they would have took the best songs from this album and made it just a single album, Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder, if it was a single album and they would have taken all the best songs from these two albums and put them into one album, I think this would have been the greatest album ever made, in my opinion. As it stands, this is the second best album on my top 10 list. Sister Chaka Khan. Dramatic, beautiful voice. I saw, what's his name? Al Jarreau and Miles Davis in person. Al Jarreau opened for Miles Davis and Chaka Khan was in the audience. She got up and sang with Al Jarreau. Great voice. Going old school again with brother Donny Hathaway. Smooth. Smooth. That's all I can say. Great voice. This brother here, Norman Connors, the song "You Are My Starship." If you want to hear a great song, listen to Norman Connors' "You Are My Starship." It's a very mellow, easy to get into, easy to listen to. One of those songs you just listen to over and over again. Norman Connors, "You Are My Starship." Excuse me. Okay, I had to include some Jacksons in here, and I'm include Janet. Saw her in person at the Forum, the early 90s. This is her Control album, so I had to include her. She was hot for a while, so I had to include Janet Jackson. and a brother that they call him the King of Pop, Michael Jackson. Who knows what he could have been if he would have, again, had longevity. Too bad some of the greats have to leave us so soon. Early 70s, beautiful voice, beautiful singer, beautiful lady, Roberta Flack. This is her first take album. The song, First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. One of the most beautiful songs you can ever hear. I'm going to show you some funk at the moment. Excuse me. This is Bootsy Collins, one of my favorites in high school. I used to love Bootsy, so I had to include him on my list. Bootsy Collins, ladies and gentlemen. Back to old school. B.B. King. Love that song, The Thrill Is Gone. B.B. King, ladies and gentlemen. One of my favorite bands in the 60s, the late 60s, included Eddie Kendricks on vocals. The Temptations. This is a Psychedelic Shack album. I guess the psychedelic era affected a lot of genres, a lot of people, a lot of movements, and even affected the R&B movement. Psychedelic Shack by the Temptations. What can I say? Jackie Wilson. Baby Worked Out. That's a great song. Okay, I'm about to get in what they call blue-eyed soul, okay? Blue-eyed soul is what they call it. And I'm going to start off with a young lady at the time, at least when I was following her, she passed away, I believe. It's Tina Marie, the great Tina Marie. She had a lot of soul, a lot of groove in her performance, in her voice, in her efforts. Now this band, there's nothing average about this band. The average white band, they had the great hit Pick Up the Pieces. There's nothing average about this band. They were an amazing band. Average white band. Another blue-eyed soul combo, the Righteous Brothers. Their version of Ebb Tide is my favorite version of the song Ebb Tide, and both of the performers had magnificent voices. The Righteous Brothers. Another blue-eyed soul group, the Rascals. This is the stereo version of the record. Even got the mono original pressing of the record, the Rascals. Their version of Groovin' had a lot of soul. Another blue-eyed soul singer, gotta have another female, excuse me, Dusty Springfield. Dusty in Memphis album, one of the greater albums ever made. I know Analog Productions, Acoustic Sounds has a reissue of that album. Sounds pretty good. I have a copy of that one. You should check it out. Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. Otis Redding. He had that classic soul voice of the 60s. One of my parents' favorites, and mine too, is Lou Rawls. This is a soul-in record. And he has a version of, I think, Yesterday on this song. And yeah, but check out Lou Rawls in his version of Yesterday. Let me see if it's on this one. No, it was a very good year. It was a very good year performed by Lou Rawls on this album. I know Frank Sinatra, that's his song, but Lou Rawls does a fabulous job. Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. I think this is one of the greatest female bands of all time. Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. And there's a solo album by Martha Reeves. Oh, by the way, at the end of this video, the last two records is going to be my favorite female R&B singer of all time. And the last one is going to be my favorite male R&B singer of all time. So you want to hold on for that. The dynamic Ray Charles, one of the greater R&B soul singers. He do it all. A lot of soul in his voice, a lot of passion in his voice. Ray Charles. Now, she was more of a pop star, but I had to include her. Sade, she boosts onto the scene. I think it was early to mid 80s. That hit Smooth Operator and had several other very good albums and hits. So I had to give her a shout out. This was one of my favorite groups in high school, if not my favorite. Parliament Funkadelic. I used to love this album when I was in high school. Great funk band, led by George Clinton. This brother has one of the greatest voices you can ever hear. At least he had one of the greatest voices you can ever hear. On the record, it's still one of the greatest voices you can ever hear. His brother Luther Vandross. I've seen him in person once or twice in the 80s. Fantabulous performer, fantabulous voice. This man exemplifies soul to the max. Brother Isaac Hayes. That's a great version of Walk On By on this album. Isaac Hayes. He did a little acting too. You should see him on that show, The Rockford Files. I don't know if he was involved in any other projects, but he was on that show, The Rockford Files here in the United States. The Four Tops. Great Motown group. This band here has they're falling through the cracks in terms of popularity for some reason, but the Friends of Distinction, they had a great song, You Got Me Going in Circles. A lot of other few other great songs they did, but they were like somewhat similar to the Fifth Dimension in a way. But at the time, they didn't get the hype that they deserved, I don't think. The Friends of Distinction. Oh, there's some other bands that I should have brought some albums out for, like the Delphonics. They were an underrated group. They had that song, La 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 Means I Love You. And they had a lot of great soul and R&B hits. So I have to give a shout out to the Delphonics. I had to. The greatest female band of all time. No, it's not Destiny's Child. It's the Supremes, led by Diana Ross on Motown Records. Another great, dynamic, strong, soulful soul singer for the Edwin Starr. This band can do it all. All of them great singers in this band. Like I said, an underrated group. Staple singers. I believe Mavis Staples was their lead singer. I think my son loves NDRE. I think she's pretty cool too, so I have to give her a mention. I know my son's also a fan of, and my son is ever watching this video, if he gets to it, he loves Erykah Badu as well, so I have to give him her a mention. And Beyonce. My son's a huge Beyonce fan, so I have to give Beyonce a shout out. Of the Temptations is a solo album by Eddie Kendricks. He had a great, he can go high with his voice, Eddie Kendricks. Etta James, my favorite song by Etta James is Tell Mama. Another singer that was hot in the 80s but seemed to almost disappear. It's Anita Baker. She was hot in the 80s, but, you know, I don't know what happened, but she was great then, Anita Baker. I think this is the first concert I ever went to, was to see the Fifth Dimension. I went with my family. We went to Las Vegas as a family, I think in the early to mid 70s. And the Fifth Dimension, I think, is the best band that I see. The first concert I went to, I believe, the Fifth Dimension. Getting down to the last few, War. Great song, The World is a Ghetto. Great groove, great soul band. Now I'm down to my last two. Now the last two features my favorite soul singer of all time, soul female singer of all time. And the next one is my favorite male soul singer of all time. The greatest female singer of all time, and the greatest singer of all time, period, my opinion, is Sister Aretha Franklin. It's amazing. Her song "Chain of Fools" is on this record. Aretha Franklin. The greatest male R&B singer of all time is, say it loud, James Brown. I'm Black and I'm Proud. Fabulous black anthem for Black America. He exudes soul, R&B, class, talent, a great dancer, a great singer. You never got cheated when you saw James Brown. He brought his A game 100% of the time. If you see him, look at him on YouTube, James Brown. But those are just a few of my favorite R&B soul singers. I thought I would do it. Oh, and also, but I didn't mention it, the Isley Brothers, but I failed to mention it. And another great group that I failed to mention is a group called The Beginning of the End. And they had this hit called Funky Nassau that you need to check out. But those are just a few of my favorite R&B soul singers. I thought I'd do a video on them because since I've been doing some jazz videos and stuff, and R&B and soul is near and dear to my heart. And I thought I'd do a live video. I've never done a live video before, so I thought I'd give it a crack, see how it goes, see if I get any views. And hopefully this video will be up here for other people to watch at their leisure. But please leave your comments in the comment section below about your favorite R&B soul singers, funk singers as well. Please like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Again, thank you for watching this live video. Like I said, this is my first crack at it, so you know. But if I feel comfortable and if I think of another good topic to talk about, well, I'll do it again. But thank you for viewing. Please like and subscribe. Tell some friends about my channel. God bless, strong love, and peace to all.